What's happening? What's going on? What is happening with my co-creators? I'm sitting in traffic and I decided to shoot a video. It's been a little while since I put a video out there. Been super busy. And honestly, I really just didn't have anything I wanted to talk about. You know, sometimes if you live a life where you always, I enjoy inspiring people, you know what I'm saying? So I'm always thinking about inspirational things to say, inspirational things to put out there, and sometimes I need to get inspired myself. And so sometimes you gotta take a break and actually do some research and work on yourself. So I've been busy doing that kind of stuff. So anyway, that's why I didn't put anything out in a couple of weeks. But how you doing? How are you doing? How's your day going? I'm sitting in traffic over here trying to fight road rage. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I never really been like a raging person, but yeah, I see some things that kind of wear me out a little bit. So I got to deal with that. And so, the way I deal with road rage is because this is what I do. I try to imagine when I first started driving. I try to imagine all the mistakes that I did. And I try to imagine all the mistakes that I do nowadays when I'm not really paying close attention. Like if I'm preoccupied doing something while I'm driving, which we shouldn't do. We all know that. But if I'm preoccupied and I'm doing something that's distracting me or whatever, I may make a bad move. I may do something that will piss somebody off. And so I try to consider that when I get angry about somebody doing something to me on the road. It's like, okay, have I ever did that to anybody? Imagine it's that person's first time doing that. Imagine that this person is going through some ridiculous thing in their life where they need to be somewhere for some crazy reason. I mean, you could never really imagine what someone is going through. So all I'm saying is that road rage is not really worth it. It's not really worth it at all. You just gotta consider yourself in that person's shoes. I mean, you don't know what's going on in their life. You don't know why they cut you off or why they, didn't use their turn signal or whatever the thing is they did. You know what I'm saying? You can imagine yourself. If you can imagine yourself being in that position and why you would do it. Now, don't get it twisted now. There's some straight a-holes out there that just live to drive terribly. But screw that. Let's not even think about that. Let's take that idea of somebody messing over you in traffic and just screw what the real reason is and use your imagination, because it's really not worth getting upset. It's like, you're living your life, you're doing your thing, you're having all these things going on in your life, and then you're going to let some stranger, somebody you don't even know, just step into your life in a car, and I didn't roll into your life momentarily and just ruin your day, have you acting out and being not yourself. It's not worth it. So anyway, that's my PSA on road rage, if you was looking for one, because man, this Dallas traffic is pretty horrendous, and I just get angry because I think about, you always see about these politicians talking about infrastructure, or we're gonna rebuild the roads, we're gonna do this and that, but they never really build the roads to the point where there's more than enough room. They always build just enough. They add one lane. And it seems, for me, it seems like it's a psychological thing. It's like, I'm not saying the politicians are in on it, but it just seems like something that's been going on a long time. It's way before. It's like the powers that be, it's like they want us to be frustrated and pissed off sitting in lines. Because if you're building a major city, or if you see a city is growing, it's obvious to see that a city is growing. The smartest thing to do would be to make way more lanes than you would ever need. There's no reason to have a rush hour traffic. In most cities, some cities is, it's difficult because of the way it was laid out from the get-go. But a city like Dallas, there's no reason for me to be going literally like 2 miles an hour right now. There's no reason for it, because this is a huge city. It has surrounding cities. It's been around for a very long time, and they add one lane. What we're gonna do infrastructure, add one lane. What is the point of that? Why not add 3 lanes? Why not make it ridiculously easy? It's a bunch of BS, and we just go along with it. It's like, oh, we want to keep people working, but what about the people that sit in traffic like this? It's so ridiculous. It's like somebody wants to keep us pissed off, aggravated, sidelined, distracted, focusing on this silly stuff for whatever reason. I don't know what the reason is, but it's a bigger plan to this, because this doesn't make any sense. Because I know that I'm a business owner, and when I am growing my business, I create space for growth. I don't wait until I'm up against the wall and then I decide to, okay, let me make more room. Now, there are times when things that happen in your business where you don't see it happening. And this may be even with your family. You may have growth or change in your family. You don't see it happening. You don't see it coming, is what I meant to say. And so I can see you kind of being caught off guard and being, okay, I got to make room for this now. But that is not the case when it comes to building cities and infrastructure. These people that build roads and create interstates and create these cities, expand these cities, they know exactly how fast it is going to grow. But yet, they still only add 1 lane. What is the damn point of that? Oh my God, it's so ridiculous. I'm trying not to get into all that, but it's so aggravating. It's like, come on, man. It's a fool's game. It's like, why we just go along with this foolishness? Why we don't say, okay, we demand y'all make 3 more lanes. It shouldn't be any freaking rush hour traffic. Why gotta be 1 lane extra every freaking 8 to 10 years? It's silly. Anyway. Okay, well, let's move on. I'm getting frustrated even thinking about it. So let's move on. Something happened to me that has happened several times in my lifetime, and it's it's very offensive. But it's one of those things that people may do, and they don't realize that it's offensive, and they just do it. And what I'm talking about is when somebody that doesn't have my type of hair texture, they're so intrigued by my hair. They're so intrigued, they just want to touch my hair. And, I get the intrigue. I understand, I mean, if you haven't really had a chance to really touch, locks, these beautiful locks, and it's totally something that you don't have on your head, I can see how it would be intriguing and interesting to actually want to touch it. I kind of get it. But you gotta know, I'm talking to these those people, I'm not gonna even name the race or whatever. You gotta know that when you do that, when you insist on asking or trying to, and I've had people just straight up touch my hair without even asking me, you got to know that you're treating a human being like an animal at a petting zoo. And that is ridiculous. You need to know that that is very offensive, and you need to stop doing it. Now, I tend to be kind of I'm not big on confrontation. I try to avoid problems as much as I can. So, luckily, in my situations, when I've been approached or, someone initiated the idea, let me touch your hair, I'll make a joke about it, be like, no, do you want me to touch your hair? And I'll kind of laugh it off, and they'll kind of go about their business. But there was one time, years ago, where somebody approached me, somebody I knew, and they was like very interested in touching my hair, and it took that situation to make me realize how ridiculous and disrespectful that is. You don't walk up to a stranger and just like insisting that you touch on them. It's like you're actually looking at them as a subhuman. So, all you folks that don't have hair like this or can't grow hair like this, and you insist on touching a person's hair, really think about what you're doing. You're treating them like they're at a petting zoo, and that's very offensive. And I'm not even the type of person to get all uptight and offended easy. Not really at all. But you need to realize that. Now, don't you have to pay to get into a petting zoo? So, okay, if you want to pay to touch my hair, if that's what you want to do, let me know, and I will come up with some great rates, some ridiculously expensive rates for you to touch my hair. So maybe I can backtrack on everything I just said. But no, you need to know that touching a stranger's hair just because it's different from you is very offensive. I mean, if you're not aware of that, now you know. So I just wanted to talk about that. Just kind of put that out there. And one of the reasons why I've been so busy lately is because I finally decided to expand my massage therapy business. I've been doing massage therapy for probably, I think September makes 15 years I've been doing it. And I started off full-time, and then I kind of went part-time, then I went full-time and part-time again, and I stayed part-time for several years. And so recently I had an opportunity where I could get a space that was well-known and had a lot of traffic, and I decided to go back into massage therapy. And so we had a grand opening back on like a week or so ago on April 31st. I guess last weekend before last. And that's why I haven't been on. One of the reasons why I've been super busy promoting that and, helping healing folks. That's what I do. I mean, I heal folks with my words, and I heal folks with my hands, and I heal folks with my energy. That's what I've been doing forever, even before I knew I was doing it. So I decided to go full-time with that again. But at the same time, I still have a part-time job. So how do you go full-time when you got a part-time? Usually you got a part-time and then you got a part-time. Well, some people do full-times and then a part-time. So that's what's going on right now. I'm doing full-time massage, plus I'm doing a part-time. So it's really like putting my days into like oblivion, just like totally gone. Like I would never be in traffic before to go to do massages because I would work around it, but on some days I can't because I had to go do my part-time job. Your boy on a mission, trying to make some things happen. So you got to do what you got to do. So that's what I've been all about. So if you are in the DFW area and you are interested in getting a quality massage with some really, really good rates, hit me up, inbox me. If you are not in the DFW area, if you don't plan on coming to this area anytime soon, don't waste my time. You know what I'm saying? I don't need no just conversations about, I like massage. Oh man, I'm sore. Because people just assume that since you're a massage therapist, you just want to hear about how sore they are. It's like, no, I want to hear about you making appointments so we can work on that, so I can do some healing and I can get paid. So I don't want to hear about, oh, I'm just sore and all that foolishness. You know, sometimes people just have some type of other ideas about what this massage therapist client relationship will be. But I'm here to put you in your place. I'm here to earn some money and here to heal some problems. You know, that's what I do. So anyway, that's what's been going on with me. That's what's been keeping me, one of the things that's been keeping me very, very busy. You know, something else I was thinking about. I was talking to a very, very good friend of mine, and she was mentioning a problem that she was having with someone that she really, really is close to. And I'm trying not to get into details about what it was, because I don't want to make it obvious who I'm talking about. But let's just say, let's totally pull from that. Are you capable of separating the lesson that you need to learn from the person that happens to be teaching you that lesson? You understand what I'm saying? It's like we all have different situations that we deal with, different lessons we got to learn in our life. And a lot of times those lessons are connected to people that we care about, people that we have a history with, people that have maybe even hurt us in the past. Can you just say, okay, this person has done this, and that. I know this, and that about this person. I don't get down with this person on this level because of what they've done in my past. But some kind of way, I ended up dealing with this person again. And the situation came where, damn, I'm being tested again. Can you separate the lesson from the person? And I think that's very important, because I really do, I ain't gonna say I believe, I know that we are on this earth, we are in this lifetime to make ourselves better, whether it's spiritually, whether it's physically, whether it's, I think it all comes back to spiritually, because even if it's physically, if it's mentally, it's something that we have to grow spiritually to master. You know, anything we deal with, we have to master it spiritually, and then it's just there, it's permanent. You know, and I think that we all come into this life with things that we want to learn, things that we want to get better with, ways that we want to expand our spirituality. And I think that's what this life is about. And I do believe in people already arriving in this life with certain ideas and talents that they've already procured. I mean, I really do believe that. I mean, you see people all the time that just born, they just know how to deal with certain situations. They just know. And so, you know, I've heard people talk about multiple lifetimes and all that stuff. And that's very, very interesting to me and intriguing. And in a lot of ways, it makes sense, because there are some things that I just don't struggle with at all. And I've seen other people that struggle with it to the point where it breaks them down. And so why am I so much better? I didn't take any special classes. I'm not some type of advanced person. I don't have any special training. I'm not, you know, so obviously the lessons that they are struggling with is some things that I've already learned in some type of form or fashion before I arrive in this spiritual plane that we are living in. But maybe I'm getting too deep, so I'm going to pull up on that. But I'm just saying, we all are here to grow and expand ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So when these challenges arrive, when these lessons are in our face, I think that it takes a special level of maturity, spiritual, emotional maturity, to separate the lesson from the person. Because this person I was talking to, they are in a position where they have to deal with this person that they don't like to deal with, and it happens to be around finances and stuff like that. And they are like, man, I really don't want to deal with this person. And they've already screwed me in so many ways before. So how do I handle this? Do I just cut my losses and say, no, I'm not going to deal with this person at all? Or do I say, okay, there's a lesson here that needs to be learned. There's something here that I am being challenged by, and I need to learn this, because if this lesson doesn't come from this person that I happen to be close with, it's going to come from somewhere else. So I'm saying that when you're challenged with something, I think that we need to practice separating our personal feelings from the lesson itself. It doesn't matter who brings us the lesson, because some people that's going to bring us the lesson is somebody that we don't really want to deal with. Somebody that we really don't trust, somebody that we had some bad situations in the past with. But the lesson is there. It's a golden opportunity to grow yourself, to expand yourself spiritually. So we got to separate that person from that lesson. So that's my advice. I guess I should have made a separate video about this, but I feel like I really need to break it down and talk about it and explain it. And I like to keep my other videos, under 4 minutes or so. So I didn't want to do that there. So that's what I believe. If somebody's challenging you, even if you don't like the person, you don't trust the person, you don't believe in the person, blah, 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 the challenge, separate the challenge from the person and swallow your stinking, disgusting pride. And we all have that old disgusting, stinking pride that'll ruin our lives if we let it. Swallow that crap and just learn yourself a new lesson. Teach yourself a new lesson, you know what I'm saying? Teach yourself how to deal with that. So that is my advice if you are looking for it. If you're not, well, then forget you then. I guess you don't want my advice. But I'm just telling you that's what I believe. So anyway, I think that's long enough. I've been talking for, almost 23 minutes. I can't think of anything else to talk about. What else is going on? I can't think of anything right now. But that's okay though. Sometimes it's good not to have anything to talk about. You don't have to just have some divine idea to talk about, Sometimes you just gotta just talk and just relate and just put it out there. And maybe somebody will pick it up, and maybe somebody hear it, and it may influence them in a positive way, because that is what I'm all about, folks. I'm all about helping keep you in that positive state of mind, that state of mind that keeps you out of these daily silly things that we tend to get bogged down with, that we tend to let run our lives. We definitely lose a lot of time, a lot of energy, addict ourselves to a lot of things, gain a lot of weight, worrying about the little things every day. I think it's very important that we step back away from those things that are so day to day, so medial, and just look at ourselves and say, you know what? I am a perfect spiritual being that's here to learn some lessons about life. And I'm not here to be down and to be depressed and to be falling apart and to be all just down on myself and down on others, just hating people. Like today I was driving to my other job, and I might have been going a little fast through a neighborhood, but it's in the middle of the day. All the kids are in school for the most part, and I'm a professional. I'm not saying I should be speeding, but I'm paying attention to everything going on around me. And so I see this lady, she was like watering her lawn, and she just happened to look up and she saw how fast I was going, and she was like waving her arms and just saying some weird, like, you know, I have to assume that she was saying slow down. It would look like her mouth said slow down. And I'm like, there's nobody else around here, the only person out here, and you're busy. Why would you like take a moment to like flag me and wave me down and do this? And I mean, you never know. The woman might have had a tragic situation with somebody speeding. Who knows? That may be the case. I don't know. But I like to think that she's just what they call cruising for a bruising.